Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is the professional welterweight contest for 3 5-minute rounds. Please welcome your first fighter into the red corner. He hails from South Wales. He stands in a 5'8" and weighs in a 77 kilograms. He has fought at the Tulare combat and has mixed martial arts record of 2 wins and 3 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dai Jenkins! One was opposed to the cage fighting up in the blue corner. He hails from Bournemouth. He stands in a 6 foot and weighs in a 77 kilograms. He has fought under Phoenix MMA and this is his pro debut. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Fred Fury Harrington!
Okay, so welterweight action next in the Pro MMA Rules division tonight. Dai Jenkins, another one of Tulare Combat's finest. He's in the red corner. This is where it's going to get confusing. He's got the black shorts with the white Jago logo. Fred Fury Harrington from Phoenix MMA. He's got the black shorts with the red writing on and the Hayabusa logo. But he's in the blue corner.
Very evenly matched this. Jenkins, as we see, the more heavily tattooed fighter of the two. For clarity purposes of identification, not that it'll make any kind of difference. And as we say that, Harrington comes in, looking to lock up the clinch position. He's got his man pushed up against the cage. And we're looking to work this. Harrington's pro MMA debut. Obviously, we've seen him fight as semi-pro, and now he's making the transition against a real seasoned guy, in Dai Jenkins. 3-3, as you said, from Tulare Combat. Fantastic gym up there. And here's the big takedown. And a massive slam takedown. Had his man up in the air. And what I like about that is he deposited him straight in his corner.
Yeah, that was a massive takedown. I think they broke one of the MDF boards under the cage when that hit the floor. So Harrington now he's in Dai Jenkins' corner. They'll be giving Jenkins some strong advice, and it's going to be going straight through Harrington's head. It's not a pleasant place to be in. But Harrington, it's his debut, but don't let this fool you. This guy's had 21 fights across amateur and semi-pro. He is a seasoned fighter himself. I've seen him myself at the MMA League donkeys years ago, progressing through the ranks. And he's claimed the half guard. He's done very well to defend what could have been an Americana attempt or straight armbar attempt there from Jenkins early on.
Jenkins looking to link the hands and maybe to get the guillotine choke, but like you say, very hard to finish from that position. But look at that power reversal from Jenkins. But as I say that, Harrington's straight on it.
Yeah, Jenkins literally bench pressed Harrington off of him. Harrington just touched on the ground, spun round, straight back on, but Jenkins has claimed guard and a secure overhook at Harrington's right arm. So he's in a dangerous position at the moment as we see Jenkins working round to the side. He's got to posture up, get that arm free and get out of that guard position.
Jenkins on the bottom now. He's looking to work from this position if he can. Try and explode out and do one of those good reversals that we've seen him have success with so far. But these are two very well matched, very incredibly powerful welterweights.
And look at Jenkins come out.
Oh,
there
that's
we
a
go.
big shot.
Harrington postures up, fires that down the pipe, switches into side control. Now he's working Jenkins' arm, but Jenkins turns into Harrington. Harrington still just holds on to that side control. Jenkins nearly sunk a hook in to take rear choke. Harrington.
Jenkins, for me, it looked like he was trying to sneak out the back door then. That's a great spot. He had that hook in around the other side, and it looked like he was trying to pop his head kind of free that way, but now he finds himself in a tough spot, pushed up against the cage, inside his opponent in the side control position.
And look at the power of Jenkins as he pushed off of the cage wall. Harrington sinking the standing guillotine. Jenkins going in for a toe stomp.
To try and give his opponent something to think about, and it's worked really, because we saw instinctively he went to lift his foot up, and as he did, Jenkins was able to free the head and get himself back to this position. Swims that underhook through on the right hand side. Maybe looking to swim the left one through if he can gain control.
Nice shoulder control there from Harrington, but Jenkins relentless, just plows in, goes for the takedown. Harrington still securing Jenkins' left arm. He's got a couple of tricks left up his sleeve.
He's got that Kimura grip there on the left hand side, but I think he's going to let it go in favor of landing something, landing some elbows maybe. Jenkins looking to hoist his man up in the air as he did earlier, but he's got to be careful of that neck, and there's a nice knee to the body. And this is a fast-paced bout for these two big welterweights to be pushing in this first round.
So another turn there. Harrington pushing Jenkins against the cage wall. Now Harrington looking for the single leg takedown. Jenkins sprawls down on his knees. Harrington's got to get his head out to one side. Got to be very careful here not to get himself stuck in guard. He manages to stay in strong side control. We've seen him dominate this side control throughout the ground of this round.
And the time running out in this round, but what a great first round it's been. Harrington can finish it with a flurry. He might put an exclamation point on this round and put a positive finish in the judges, but that being said, Jenkins explodes forward and looks to get his man up. Can't quite get the takedown, but gets it eventually. Not the one he was looking for originally. What a fast-paced first round.
So we get ready to go to round two. Fred Fury Harrington, Dai Jenkins. What a belter this is turning out to be. Harrington with a strong left jab, driving Jenkins back into the cage wall. And he's got one underhook. He's got double underhooks. Jenkins looking to take overhooks to control. Harrington goes low. Jenkins defends well. Harrington's still holding on to one leg, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get the takedown. It's not, as he pummels back through for underhook control.
And so often we see this position a real grind, a real test of heart for both fighters. Because like you say at the start, a very good point. To the untrained eye, it does look like there's not a lot of movement there. But what you're seeing is 100% movement in one direction against 100% movement in the other, and nothing gives.
No, I fully agree with you on that one, Ben. Oh, look at that. Beautiful single leg takedown from Jenkins, and what a reversal. What a reversal from Harrington into the guard position.
Jenkins mindful of that arm because it looks very much like Harrington attacking it. Looked like he had it in the Kimura grip for a while, but what he was actually doing was looking to post it between his own legs and set up a triangle. Very nice, almost diversionary kind of submission game that, and I think that's the sign for me of a truly great submission fighter, is the fact that it's not always the most obvious submission you've got to worry about. It's the one that submission sets you up for.
Correct, yeah. I train my guys all the time to treat MMA like a game of chess. Like a game of chess with punches on the end. You've got to be 3 moves ahead. There it is. Armbar attempt from Harrington.
I think he's just let it go. Jenkins has done well to get out of that, and if he can turn his hips round, maybe he'll be able to get back on top, and he did.
He does, yes. Open guards. Almost as though Harrington can hear me, which he can't, I assure you. Closes his guard up, maintains control. Now, are we going to see Jenkins posture up and strike? He postures. Harrington goes for an ankle. He's spinning out backwards. Back into guard. Harrington very comfortable on his back, plenty of movement.
And like you say, thought better of going for that ankle. I mean, so many times we see it, and we've said it all night long. Leg locks are very risky kind of specialty for a lot of people, but in the professional leagues, when you've got elbows on the ground as well, you have got to be really sure that that leg lock's on, or you're opening yourself up for a world of trouble.
Yeah, completely. So now we can see Harrington secured a half guard, as well as having Jenkins' head. So it's not on enough to finish from here, but potentially that's not a good position to be in. There we go, yeah. Jenkins, like you say, Ben, curse to the commentator. Jenkins pops his head out. Harrington, look at that. Straight back into close guard. Nice forearm strikes to the face from Jenkins. And Harrington's hips going up high.
Got to be careful of the triangle on that side. I think that's what he's going for. You can see the leg going over the top. He can lock his own feet, and that's what he's tried to do. Jenkins did the right thing of diving over the top. And if he can pull his head out, which it looks like he has done, I mean, that's just that's well-schooled fighters from both sides, from both attack and defense. It says a lot about the camps that these guys are coming out of and how well-schooled that both these guys are in these adverse situations.
Yeah, again, it comes back to that chess move I was on about earlier. If you recognise the move 3 moves ahead, it's just all going to come down to who's quicker and who's slicker. And then throw in a bit of heart, like you said earlier, and you get all the makings of a rip-roaring MMA fight. So where are we? Harrington on his back. Jenkins on top. He's got a half guard position. He postures up and pins Harrington's right arm. Interesting to pin with your leg while the other leg is still stuck in half guard. It's not something we often see, proving to be rather effective. Jenkins not bothered about that half guard. It's open. He's striking.
Jenkins landing some good short punches coming in over the top, really giving his opponent Harrington something to think about. And like you say, I mean, sometimes it is those unorthodox moves that fighters don't see coming, and it's very difficult to train against. I mean, like you say, pinning the arm with a leg while the other leg was in half guard, something we don't see very often, but he managed to let his opponent think about it for enough time to land some strikes and win him a few points in the eyes of the judges.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's, oh, that one was devastating. It's an unorthodox move, and it proved effective in this case. So we're clearly going to go to the end of this round with Jenkins on top, still in half guard. Harrington's going to survive to the end. And there we go. Go to the third. Okay, so we're back in for the third and final 5-minute round. Harrington coming in with a nice straight jab. Jenkins firing Harrington into the cage wall directly in front of us here in the commentary box.
Almost firing the cameraman off the top of the cage. Yes. Took a real grip at the top of the ladder then when these two titanic welterweights came flying towards him.
They are.
Jenkins coming forward with some strikes. Looks like he's loading up a little bit, but he's landed that right hand.
Momentarily caught Harrington there, and he's dropped low, gone for the takedown, not giving Harrington much time to defend. And he gets his man down, although not in the position that I'm sure he wanted to go for. Beautiful turn there from Harrington, but Jenkins over-rotated and followed straight back through into side control. more unorthodox stuff, but still very impressive.
Certainly very technical from fighters like this. Jenkins on the top now, looking to make things happen from side control. Got his man pushed up against the corner. More importantly, he's got his man pushed up in his corner, so they can be shouting through that advice to him. And there's a lot of blood coming from somewhere. I think it's from the nose. It is from the nose indeed of Jenkins.
Yeah, he's picked up a little bit of damage on the way.
Jenkins coming forward. If he can get the hands grip, then maybe he can get a big takedown like we saw before. But before he gets the opportunity, his opponent jumps guard for the guillotine. That looks incredibly tight.
That is deep. We can see Jenkins just taking a bit of time, clearing the chin. He's safe for the moment.
Incredibly relaxed. That's the experience of a guy who's got these 6 professional fights, who's been in these tough spots, been in the trenches, as we like to say. Didn't panic in that situation. The first thing he did, try to work the hands free, and it paid off for him.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. It's something that no amount of training can really prepare you for that kind of feeling when the crowd go mad and they almost convince you yourself that you're about to lose the fight. And it takes a hell of a lot of a strong man to take his time. I'm going to stop talking because we've had a transition now.
Toe hold he's gone for at this point. Harrington with the toe hold on the back. Figure 4 toe hold. This looks incredibly painful. We saw Ken Shamrock back in the days of Pancrase win hundreds of fights with these horrible toe holds. Incredibly painful submission holds. And Jenkins did the right thing and just powered his way through it.
So Harrington now reversing, trying to secure the left arm. We have got 2 minutes 15 seconds left of this round. Neither of these guys are going to want this to go to the decision because this really could be anyone's.
A very close fight, very back and forth in a lot of respects.
I know we always say that about fights, but seriously, I haven't got a clue where to start with this one.
As we hear the corner, Harrington asking him for elbows. I mean, it's something we haven't seen a lot of from either fighter realistically under the professional rules. You'd think that, especially with the guard being as it is, they could look for those elbows. And as we say that, Harrington may be looking for that triangle again.
Look at that defense from Jenkins. That was smart stuff. As soon as he felt the arm being trapped, he used his own right leg to protect his right arm. That's awesome.
90 seconds left in this welterweight bout between Dai Jenkins and Fred Harrington. An unbelievably close affair this. It's Jenkins up on top. He's going for that triangle again.
Here's Jenkins forming a brace with his arm and see his elbow popping out to the side. He's creating himself a breathing hole. Oh, he goes to tap. No, he's got it. Fantastic. Dying in the last minute of the round. Harrington secures his first pro win with a triangle out of nowhere.
And credit to Harrington. He threw up that triangle a few different times, and when he locked it on, it was all business. Unbelievable finish, a great display of heart from both guys. But Harrington, I mean, what can we say about him? He never stopped coming forward. What a phenomenal finish.
Your winner after 3 minutes and 55 seconds of the